creative friends. So I've mentioned before that I've been wanting to try my first live stream. So I got everything set up here to try and do it, and my browser or my tablet's operating system, whatever the reason, it won't do it. So I'm going to go ahead and video this like it was a live stream. And so I guess it'll be good practice if I ever figure out how to actually do a live stream. But like I said, I had every intention that this was going to be my first attempt. Got into YouTube Studio and tried to start it up, and my tablet or my camera, there's an issue and it doesn't support it. So sorry, not a live stream, but hopefully still an interesting video. Puzzle, stop. You're messing up the blinds. So the second thing that this video that I wanted to do is to finally complete Inktober 2024. That is the art challenge during the month of October, to do a drawing in ink every day of October, so Inktober. And since I started doing Inktober, I think in 2017 was my first attempt. Almost every year I've completed it, done 31 drawings. It wasn't necessarily a drawing every single day because life will interfere, caregiving, work, just things have interfered. But at least every year, except one, I think, I did manage to do 31 drawings for Inktober. So this 31st drawing is obviously very late, and since this is April 2025, but I am to get it done here. So what I'm gonna do for this final Inktober drawing is do an ink sketch from life of a puzzle here. And a hint, if you wanna sketch your own dogs, or cat, or whatever pet you have, wanna sketch them from life, a real easy way is when they're napping. So if you have like your sketchbook and your pencils or pens, whatever you're going to use, if you have that in a typically handy spot where, like, let's say your dog is going to nap. So, you're on the couch and watching TV, and they're up on the couch and they decide to take a nap. If you've got your sketching materials close at hand, can sketch them while they're sleeping. Obviously they're still, or if they stay sleeping, they'll be still, and that's an easy way to do it. So as you see, I've got brought out my old grooming table, and I have him sitting up here. So this is going to keep him somewhat still, and you can probably jury rig something similar maybe to keep them in place. But sometimes you're only able to sketch so much, and they get up and move off or change positions. I have many pages in many sketches in my old sketchbooks where I've started a sketch and they move, and so you just can wait till they maybe settle down in a new position and complete your sketch that way. But anyway, so I'm going to do this sketch from life in ink, have him so he'll be somewhat still here. Hopefully my sketch pad will show up here. Sorry, my setup is pretty Mickey Mouse, but hopefully will be good enough. So I've got 3 brush pens here, and one has a finer tip, and if I remember right, this one has a more medium tip, little wider. And then, if I remember right, this one is a thicker tip. And so I'm going to do this sketch from life, no pencil underdrawing, which is a challenge, and how I've done a number of Inktober sketches. I may try another one of these, kind of a bonus Inktober sketch, doing a pencil underdrawing, you know, a light pencil sketch first, and that is a little bit easier. But doing it this way is a challenge. So, Puzzle, I think I want you to pull back a little. Okay. So, I think I mentioned all I have is this old tablet. I cannot see. It's not like a camera with a flip out screen, which I hopefully will get one of these days, but I can't see what the view is. So apologies if this is not the best view. But so basically, to start, I'm going to do just an outline of Fuzzy. Get started with an outline. His skull, and then his ear coming off to the side there. Are you going to keep your nose up like that? Fuzzy. Okay, I guess he is. So I'm going to get his nose in there. So just kind of getting the basic sketch done. Puzzle. So, and so he's obviously warm. I'm gonna do some panting here. Puzzle. Okay, and I want to get also his basic shape and start to get his markings in there. Okay, puzzle. Get his eye sketched in. Could you be kind of a little bit still? Puzzle. Cookie? Huh? So, and what I'm looking at on positioning is I'm looking at, like, so from where I'm looking, the corner of his mouth ear is more or less below his eye, and you're not being cooperative. Puzzle. And then his puzzle. Looky here. Trying to get his tongue, which is changing depending on how much he's panting, but I might try the next one. Try and catch. I'll do Wren for the next one. I might try and catch her sleeping, since it would be easier. Okay, puzzle, could you kind of be still? Okay, so bottom jaw, depending on how far his tongue is hanging out, it is sometimes covering his lower jaw. Alrighty. And his tooth there was showing, but now it's not. So again, if you can catch them while they're sleeping, it's much easier. And then, like, so the top of his ear here, where it comes out from his head, oh, this pen is losing ink, is below the corner of his eye when it's in the position that I'm trying to catch him at. And then that, trying to get his markings here. He's got puzzle. Okay. So sometimes just have to hold their head. Okay, so his markings here comes toward his lip. Puzz. And then the dark, that pigmentation that's around his nose. This is going to be hard to get, but he's got quite a bit of dark pigment. And his spots, so his spots are kind of come back like this. They are not going to be accurate. And then over on this side, depending on how high he's raising his nose, I don't see much of his eye over there. And then, you wanna look at this? Okay, when he's got his nose in that position there, I can see his ear over on this side. Okay, this pen is really starting to crap out, but I can use that to my advantage to put some sort of grayish shading in. Okay, pause. A little bit lighter spots on his nose where it reflects. Okay, so I'm going to change to my darker pen and go ahead and put in the shadow areas, or the areas where it's really dark, which is hard to see. Lighting, as I said, is not the greatest lighting setup, but a lot of dark on this side. And I hope you can see this. Okay, guys. Okay, so for his eye, it's dark around the rim of the iris, and then the pupil. He's got some reflection there. Can you put your nose down? Okay. Here. So again, putting in the really darkest areas with this thicker brush pen. Oh dear, puzzle. Okay, this is very shadowed in here, inside his mouth, and here at the corner of his mouth. Ear underneath. It's got kind of a, unfortunately, since my lamps are not very strong, it's like almost a backlit effect I've got going here, which is not the greatest, but it is what it is. No, you are being bad. You are being very, very fidgety and not helpful. Not helping us. Okay, and then I am hoping with my finer pen here to just, I gotta get some new pens, as you can see. These are several years old. I've got a lot of use out of them, but, Fuzzy, come here, look this way. But they are not having the ink that they once had. So basically doing some hatching with this finer tip. Okay, excuse me a sec, and I'm gonna grab another pen here. Be good. Just stay right there. Let me see if I've got something that's gonna work here. Okay, gonna resort to a Sharpie. Okay, and just, I want to get in, you know, the areas that are not totally black. So, and I'm gonna sort of do this hatching in the direction of hair growth. Sort of, again. So this is sort of to, again, fill in where it's not totally black. It's just a very, very dark gray. Because of the lighting, how it's set up, I really hardly have any highlights here, unfortunately. So just trying to do the best I can. And just gonna, okay, so, and getting the gray of his tongue. Do a little cross hatching here to get more tone into that gray. Now, normally if I had time, I would do stippling, which is the small dots, which works great to do gradation because it's small dots and you put them in more slowly. Helps to do when you're trying to do different shades of gray, because the highlights where his nose is wet, and there's highlights around the outside of the nostrils there, you know, around the curve of the nostril, the way the lamp is hitting is some of the best highlights. Okay, I'm gonna make this dark pigment around his nose, a little darker. Okay, I think shading on his tongue. It's darker here on the shadow side. Actually, the way the lamp is, he's getting some light underneath his throat there. Normally, if you have overhead light, you know, this will be under the jaw area is going to be in shadow, but because it's, these lamps are about the same level that his head is, those are having more light under that area. Okay, so I want to pause. I want to get some of the shading under his eye. So just below the eyelid is some shading. So I'm going to put thicker cross hatching. Put cross hatching in the iris area. So where he has the bone structure on the face, I don't know whether you can even see it, but there's some shadowing that goes under there. So put some of that in. Puzzle. Some more. It's a little bit lighter on this side, darker on this side, so I'm gonna put in more shading there. And on this side, Puzzle, you are just being very, very uncooperative. All right, I'm gonna try to go back to the Sharpie is also crapping out. Okay, just maybe make a little bit of a line there to differentiate where his ear is. Yeah, I'm gonna darken up this side. Puzzle. Okay, also goes a little bit darker that way. And you're not making this easy, Puzz. No, you're not. Alright, just gonna... Okay, he's not like a... He's getting gray. Him and Wren are 12. They're going to be 13 in October, so he's graying quite a bit. He's got this green on his ears. So that is kind of what that is. Okay. Always got that separation at the front of their nose. This nostril a little darker. It's got, again, some graying here on his ears now that he's getting older. So, all right. Well, that might be all I'm going to be able to do today. But you're going to get down in just a little bit. Yes, I'll put you down on the floor, okay? I guess you could have been worse. You could have tried to jump off the table. Okay, so here we go. Puzzle. This is late Inktober 2024. It's the 2nd, right? Sorry, look at the calendar. Yes. April 2nd, 2025. Go ahead and sign it here. So, again, ink sketch from life to finish Inktober 2024. Just a little bit late, but hope you enjoyed it, and I will try and figure out if there is a way that I can do an actual live stream. If it means that I have to upgrade and buy a new tablet or an actual digital camera or GoPro or something like that, my first live stream might be a while, because it is just not in the budget right now. But this was kind of, since I'm not going to edit this at all, I'm just going to upload it. This is kind of a good trial run on doing my first live stream. So hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, like I said, I will try and do another of these with Wren, because I want to do Wren also. They're my last two dogs. And so if there's any questions that you want me to answer in the next one, I'll do a sketch of Wren. Put it in the comments, and I'll check those out. Thank you. See you next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.